One. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the We Like Dota League. We are in round 6, maybe? I'm not sure what round it is, of the playoffs. And I am casting from the replay of these matches. We weren't able to have a caster who... well, Jared was the admin, but he doesn't have a connection that he can stream from, so... We just downloaded the replay, so I'm going to cast the best of 3 series from the replay, and we do have the Canadians versus RTZ, 2EZ 4RTZ, excuse me. So it is interesting to see. It will be interesting to see what happens between these two teams. They do seem to be fairly similarly skilled, as a lot of the lower skilled teams, such as my own team, Noobs Ass Noobs, has. They've been starting to get knocked out. So it will be some good old Dota here between these two teams. We have 2EZ 4RTZ on the Radiant side, opting for the Silencer, Tidehunter, and Skywrath Mage. And on the side of the Canadians, we have the Faceless Void, Witch Doctor, and Shadow Shaman pickups. Yeah, I think it seems like the Canadians are going for maybe a little bit of Wombo combo synergy with the Faceless Void and Witch Doctor. Probably going to be looking for some of those Chronosphere, Death Ward combos with the Witch Doctor. You know, once you get... heck, you really don't even need to get up the Ag Scepter to be effective with the Witch Doctor. So yeah, I would expect we'll see some of those coming out, which will always be interesting. And the Shadow Shaman I like, brings a lot of stuns and lockdown with the Hex and the Shackles. 10 seconds remaining. And then also some good old creep clearing with the Ether Shock, and the Mass Serpent Wards, of course, are always great for pushing. And I do like the Necrophos pick. It does bring some lane stability. And yeah, some creep clear as well with the Death Pulse, and that Reaper Scythe is just so good. I think we'll probably be seeing more Necrophos, at least in the pro scene, coming up, because I feel like that Reaper Scythe is just so good. It adds 30 seconds to their respawn timer, which that is really nice. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. And it goes through spell immunity, which is nice. Didn't realize that. I like that. But on the side of 2EZ 4RTZ, they do have a lot of counter initiation, especially with the Silencer and Tidehunter. Yeah, you can just really turn matches around with like a good Ravage Global Silence play. And he's also a pain in the butt to lane against with the Curse of the Silent and the Last Word. It's just so annoying to lane against Silencer. And of course, the Skywrath Mage can really turn things around pretty easily as well with the Concussive Shot and the Arcane Bolt and the, what is it? What's his ultimate called? Mystic Flare. And of course, the Ancient Seal is really good as well. Increases the magic damage that you take and also silences the target, which is really good. Is it still silence? Yeah. And the Invoker also fits into a lot of lineups as well. And I think synergizes quite well with the Skywrath Mage. You know, he just is so versatile with all the different spells that he can cast. So I would expect to see somebody on the Invoker. He seems to be a pretty good Invoker player. And they do go for the Wraith King. A solid... I would expect to see him in the core position here. Yeah, just a solid core. I do like him. He does bring a lot of stability. Does need to be in... Needs to make sure he's in team fights. He's not, like a ganking hero or anything like that. And you do have to be especially careful with your mana management with him, because if you're not getting off the reincarnations, it's, yeah, you're just not very effective as Wraith King. But he does bring that nice stun, and the Vampire Core is really nice as well. And we do have a Magnus pickup. I would assume that'll be for Hoju Simpson, and it is. So it will be interesting to see how that whole thing plays out. And Yeah, he is definitely making a name for himself on the Magnus. He does go for the A. The Canadians are just polite as always, of course. Just the nicest guys in We Like Dota. And let's talk about this courier here for a moment. Skip the delivery frog. Can't say I've seen that one before. But yeah, oh, we do have somebody on the Wraith King. Surprised to see that. I would have expected to see him on the Skywrath Mage. But yeah, on the Radiant side, we do have 2EZ 4RTZ. We have somebody on the Wraith King. Calvin Smokes Wex on the Silencer. Anarchies is going to be on your Skywrath Mage. We're going to have Jack Survive on the Invoker. And Patrick Bateman will be on your Tidehunter. An off-lane Tidehunter at that, no surprises there. Stocking up on a ton of regen, kind of preparing for the worst. And we do have 4 heroes on the side of not Hoju Simpson, on the side of Canadians here. I think they're trying to make sure that their jungle doesn't get warded up or, you know, any funny business like that happens. And yeah, on the side of the Canadians, we do have Civil Pirate. On the Faceless Void, Adamus or Adamus. On the Shadow Shaman, Amarinal. On the Witch Doctor, that leaves Shiktal on the Necrophos, and of course Hoju Simpson on the Magnus and the offlane. For as decent as a Magnus player as he is, I'm surprised he doesn't have any sweet cosmetics yet. And it does look like we're going to have a bit of a tri-lane, 2 safe lane tri-lanes, each team kind of going for the safe lane tri-lane here. Which, not entirely surprised there. I do feel like Wraith King does need tri-lane support to secure his farm. Same thing can be said for the Faceless Void as well. And yeah, we do have the offlane Tidehunter here going for the Anchor Smash first. I would have expected him to go for the Kraken Shell first. But not terribly strange to see that coming out. But yeah, the Anchor Smash really can really kind of screw up your opposing core hero, because he reduces the attack damage of anybody it hits. So 45% reduction, that's going to make farming quite difficult in those early stages. And we have Witch Doctor going for the Paralyzing Cask first. No surprises there. Shadow Shaman opting for the Shackles first as well to try and, you know, if Tidehunter gets out of position or anything like that, they'll be able to take advantage of that quite easily. And this middle lane is pushing up onto the Radiant side a little bit here. Necrophos well aware of the danger of that position. And we do have Faceless Void and Wraith King pretty much going both blow for blow when it comes to CS. Which, it's nice to see that. We do have Magnus stacking up these Clarities. Looks like he might be expecting to try and make some stuff happen, as he does roam into the jungle here, trying to look for potentially somebody going for this pull camp. But it looks like they did go for the double pull, as Silencer does have this creep wave up here. And oh no, Silencer and Skywrath Mage are going to sniff out the Magnus here. Magnus will get away thanks to the skewer, but he does take quite a bit of damage from the Arcane Bolt and the Concussive Shot. Is that what that thing's called? Concussive Shot? Arcane Bolt. Yep, Concussive Shot. Still taking a little bit more right-click damage here, but nothing that he can't handle. And we are going to have a bit of a rotation, a smoke gank into the mid lane here, and Invoker sees this and is just saying, I'm getting the crap out of here. The Cask will stun him for just a moment. The Shackles will be used, and the Malefice will hit. The Sunstrike will be just off the mark. And Necrophos is eating a bit of damage, and the Malefice does take down the Invoker, and Necrophos is taking a little bit of damage from this Skywrath Mage's Silencer. Does rotate in, and some right-click damage going down on the Silencer, and this Witch Doctor is getting quite close to death. He is at 13, he was at 13 HP, and just barely escaping with his life, as he does eat a Tango and limps back to the well. Or the Fountain, or whatever it's called in this game. I'm not entirely sure. I know one is a League of Legends thing and one is a Dota 2 thing. I'm not sure which is which, and that's fine. They're all the same thing, right? At least I know that these are heroes and not champions, right? Right. So anyway, a bit of a cheeky play there from the Canadians, and they definitely came out on top there, ganking in the mid lane against that Invoker. So that is going to put the Invoker slightly ahead as far as XP goes, about a half level of XP, so nothing to trifle with. Necrophos does pick up that rune and refills his bottle. Let's see, does Invoker have a bottle? No, he does not. He does pick up the Null Talisman. And yeah, I'm not sure how viable it is for either of these heroes to really contest the bottles. You know, they don't really have any... I don't put either at an advantage. You know, neither has like any movement abilities or anything like that. So this tri-lane is going to back up under the tower here. Try and get the creep wave a little bit more pulled under their tower. Tidehunter is going to go ahead and pull this creep wave into the lane here to try and secure himself a little bit of farm, which is really good, and deny some of that creep wave to the Faceless Void. And he does stack at the same time, so that's good on him. Though this tower will take a little bit of damage, a little bit of chip damage, no big deal there. I do kind of fear that this creep wave pull, though, all it really did is just help them get some farm from this hard camp. So let's see here, down in the bottom lane, we do have Magnus just skewering back into position there. He was kind of worried that he was going to get bursted down there, but I think he'll be just fine. And yeah, a little bit more quiet now. Things are settling down. Wraith King ahead by 2 CS. Make that 1 CS, no big deal. So as far as farm goes, both teams are kind of on equal ground. The Canadians are ahead by about 300 gold, no big deal there. Necrophos bottling up that bounty rune, refilling his bottle. But yeah, kind of all quiet on the western front here. No big deal. I do worry about this mid lane, though. It does feel like Necrophos is doing quite well. Though somehow Invoker has pulled ahead in farm, or XP. He is level 7 compared to level 6 on the Necrophos, though just barely behind. I think going for those bottles has put him slightly behind in XP. Or heck, not even slightly. I would say about a quarter. We'll go slightly behind. They're pretty much neck and neck as far as XP goes. Last word being used on the Magnus. Gonna harass him just a little bit, no big deal there. He's just fine. Let's take a look at the items. It looks like we do have Wraith King going for an armlet. He does have his phase boots secured already. Faceless Void did pick up the Hand of Midas that we saw earlier. It is on the courier, I believe. Yeah, there it is. Other than that, nothing too notable. Everyone except, yep, everyone has their boots. Invoker going for the phase boots, which I think that's just fine. Yeah, other than that, nothing too crazy going on. Actually, Silencer is kind of hurting for farm right now. Well, as is the Shadow Shaman, which they've been kind of playing that hard number 5 support here. And oh boy, this Necrophos is going to sniff out the Silencer. And the Skywrath Mage is going to rotate in to kind of help out. And he does get the Arcane Seal, or the, what is that? Ancient Seal thrown down on him. And a little bit of engagement shaking up here. A nice skewer is going to catch out the Skywrath Mage. And the Shackle will be used on the Silencer. See you later, Silencer. And that's 2 down on the side of 2EZ 4RTZ. And the Ravage will be used, catching out the Necrophos. And that's 1 down on the side of the Canadians. And oh, the Sunstrike is going to be just off the mark. But regardless, Magnus will go down from the right clicks from the Invoker and the Wraith King, so that's a 2-for-2 exchange. Favoring 2EZ 4RTZ. And yeah, not really too much else to be said about that other than it was a mostly even exchange. It did let Faceless Void get a little bit more free farm and let him pull ahead by about 10 CS. Taking a look at the gold graph, it is starting to favor, I mean, it's basically even, but it is slightly favoring 2EZ 4RTZ. But no big deal there.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Shadow Shaman going for, looks like the Drum of Endurance. Faceless Void doing a good job of keeping that Hand of Midas on cooldown. Does pick up some phase boots or power treads of his own. Looks like Tidehunter is going to be building up that magic wand. He does have the arcane boots. And this silencer is still just hurting for XP. Looks like he's going to go ahead and stack up the ancients for Wraith King. And yeah, I think you want to try and get some more levels on that silencer to really help out with the global silence. I kind of feel like he this Necrophos is taking a decent amount of damage. Sunstrike going to be right on the mark. The Arcane Bolt is going to be used, and the last word should be able to finish him off. The Arcane Bolt will do the last bit of damage there, and there we go. That's a dead Necrophos. And Silencer did get... He should have gotten a little bit of XP from that, I believe. But yeah, that Silencer ultimate is just going to help out so much in team fights, so I would like to see him get some levels. But, you know, that's support life, so... Magnus and Skywrath Mage making a little bit of a nod towards each other there as they go for the rune. Wraith King getting closer to his armlet. He does opt to build up the Wraithfire Blast first, which is good. The damage scales out pretty good on that. And of course building the Vampiric Aura and the Mortal Strike and the ultimate as well. And in the mid lane, Invoker is starting to take off in terms of farm and an XP. So I think a nice gank on Invoker could help him out quite a bit here. It looks like he is going to be building into the Orchid, which is a just dandy item for Invoker. Shadow Shaman sitting at level 5, and this Silencer is really starting to pull quite far behind in terms of levels. Need to get some XP on that guy. Faceless Void getting some free farm up here in the top lane. A good 15 CS ahead of the Wraith King. And the Dire Forces are going to go ahead and go into the jungle here. They do sniff out this Skywrath Mage, doing some right-click damage to the illusions, and Skywrath Mage does back off. So 2EZ 4RTZ are going to go ahead and TP down into the bot lane. Looks like they know a bit of an engagement might be forming up here. And let me turn off my notifications. There we go. And nothing too exciting happening quite yet. Witch Doctor getting in position for... No, he doesn't have the Death Ward yet. I thought that he would. Does have that Maledict, though. I do like the Maledict quite a bit. Does do a lot of damage. And, oh my goodness, Magnus does have this Blink Dagger. I don't think they know about this yet. That could really turn this fight around. And Wraith King does have that Armlet, so that will be a really nice pickup for this team fight if it does ever take off here. A level 8 Armlet is that is a really nice item, especially at 13 minutes in. So we'll see if they're able to make anything happen here. 2EZ 4RTZ, they are kind of forming up, maybe trying to go ahead and push out this tower. It does look like the Canadians have decided to just kind of disperse and said, hey, we're not getting anything done, so let's just back off and farm up some more and see if we can't get anything done. And 2EZ 4RTZ are going to hang out in lane, maybe try and... Looks like they are going to go ahead and try and push this tower, and they do. And in the mid lane, Shadow Shaman taking quite a bit of damage. The Sunstrike will be off, but the last word will take him down. And Witch Doctor is going to go ahead and throw out the cask, but that's not going to do too much. So good for Silencer getting that nice kill there. That will bump him up to level 5, so just one kill like that really helped out his XP gain quite a bit. Witch Doctor going to go ahead and pick up this bounty rune and puts down this ward here for some vision. And 2EZ 4RTZ does have the Roche Pit kind of warded up. Get a little bit of vision here. You don't have a complete vision of the Roche Pit, but every little bit helps. And they do have my favorite ward spot warded up. I do like that. And all the while, this Faceless Void is really starting to pull ahead in farm. With that, giving a Faceless Void free farm, especially with the Hand of Midas, is just, yeah, that's not good. He's pulling ahead by about 15 CS still. So he is looking for a creep to go ahead and use that Hand of Midas on. So, yeah, it's not going to be too long. I think this Faceless Void is, it's not going to be too long until he gets critical mass with the Hand of Midas. I think once they saw the Hand of Midas come out, I think 2EZ 4RTZ maybe should have just decided to just group up his 5 and just push this lane, because Faceless Void is going to be super weak, you know, right after he picks up the Hand of Midas, because all it gives you is that plus 30 attack speed. And Tidehunter is going to go ahead and wrap around the trees here with Invoker. Invoker sending in those Forge Spirits to go ahead and scout out. And they are wrapping around here. The Mystic Flare will be used. Not going to do too much to the Skywrath Mage. And they are going to go ahead and time walk in and take out the Skywrath Mage. The Ravage will be used, catching out 3. And we have TPs here for the side of the Canadians. And that's going to be a dead Tidehunter thanks to the Witch Doctor. So that's 2 down on the side of 2EZ 4RTZ. And a bit of an awkward engagement from the side of 2EZ 4RTZ. They kind of split the wickets here with the tower, and I'm not sure that was entirely smart, because you do take the tower damage, you know, and they are going to go ahead and push that tower. So that's 2 dead on the side of 2EZ 4RTZ, plus a tower. But yeah, as I was saying, they kind of came up this way, and then half their team was over here as well. So it does make it hard, because you don't necessarily want to wrap down around in front of this tower. So yeah, just really kind of awkward positioning, I think, really just led to their demise there. But with that said, 2EZ 4RTZ, they're not out of it yet, and things can turn around with a couple good engagements here, so we'll see if they're able to turn it around. The score is even, 5-5, as far as kills go, but Faceless Void is pulling quite far ahead in terms of net worth. Looks like he's going to be building into probably a... No, he's going to be going for the Maelstrom next. I thought he might be going for a BKB. I think a BKB would be a pretty good pickup. Stops the Wraithfire Blast, virtually everything from Silencer and the Ravage from Tidehunter, Skywrath Mage, and the Invoker. But with that said, the Maelstrom will help out quite a bit if he's able to get off a good Chronosphere. Yeah, just help him get some good AoE damage in those Chronospheres, and will also help him farm up quite a bit. And we're going to have a bit of engagement going down on the Necrophos here. Magnus getting off a good Skewer and RP combo there. That's going to be 3. The Global Silence will be used. The Mystic Flare not going to do too much, and the Death Ward is going to take down Wraith King. And Invoker is forced to back off. That's 2 down on the side of 2EZ 4RTZ. And they are going to go ahead and back off. So that was just a real nice Blink RP Skewer combo from the Magnus. And that's going to be another tower down on the side of 2EZ 4RTZ. He is going to go ahead and time walk in, and I don't even think he needs to use the Chronosphere here. They do use the the last word. The Ravage will catch out 3. The Invoker using the deafening whatever it's called. And that's 2 down again on the side of, or no, that's the Invoker dead, and 2 down on the side of the Canadians. A nice bit of a counter initiation there, but I think the Maledict and the Shadow Shaman wards is going to take down Tidehunter. You gotta be careful. You don't want to walk right into those wards like that. And yeah, Wraith King's still sitting on this armlet. He's been sitting on this armlet for about the last 10 minutes or so. Not entirely sure what he's going to be going for next. Nothing on the courier. Yeah. Let's look at the graphs.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Gold is starting to favor the Canadians quite heavily. Also XP as well. And I did hear Faces Void using that Hand of Midas still. And he does have his Maelstrom on the way out, so he is going to look to accelerate his farm quite a bit. Taking a look at the kills, we do have Necrophos actually leading the kill chart here, with Faceless Void trailing behind at 3 kills as well. Invoker doing quite well on the side of 2EZ 4RTZ with 3 kills of his own. He does have that Orchid completed, and I do need to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Whew. And I did see Tidehunter just picked up a Blink Dagger. That's going to be a real nice item for him to help him initiate and really just get the jump on some of these team fights. Shadow Shaman picking up the Drum of Endurance. I do like that pickup quite a bit. Big fan of that item. Even at this stage in the game, I think it's actually pretty decent. So, not sure what's going to be going on here. We do have the Canadians grouping up here, and the Tidehunter will get a nice blink away from that cask. Could have potentially been a dead man otherwise. So it looks like the Canadians, they kind of know they're ahead here, and they're just going to go ahead and push everything out here. Shadow Shaman does go ahead and put down those Death Wards, or not Death Wards, Mass Serpent Wards. Not too much 2EZ 4RTZ can do about that. Those wards are still quite powerful. And we do have the Hex being used on the Tidehunter. Are we going to see a Ravage? We do. It catches out 4. And the Mystic Flare will be used, and it's doing quite a bit of damage to Faceless Void. That's going to be a dead Faceless Void. The Death Ward does go down, does a ton of damage to Invoker, and that's going to be a dead Tidehunter. That's 3 down on the side of 2EZ 4RTZ, and also 3 down on the side of the Canadians, and this is just a bloody fight. And Witch Doctor will go down for some right clicks from Wraith King as Necrophos gets the kill on him as well. And that's going to be a dead even 4-for-4 exchange. That does favor 2EZ 4RTZ, an even 4-for-4 exchange. If you're getting that 4-for-4 exchange and you're behind, the gold bounty mechanics are going to favor the team that's behind. So yeah, a bit of an interesting little play there. I think if I'm 2EZ 4RTZ, I'm somewhat okay with that exchange. It does help them out a little bit. It is going to slow down the farm for Faceless Void quite a bit, who is at 127 CS right now, so he's doing okay. And the Skywrath Mage picks up that nice Staff of Wizardry. Probably going to be going for a Yule's or a Force Staff, I would assume. Necrophos going for the Rod of Atos, which I do like quite a bit. It is a very efficient item because it's built from 2 Staves of Wizardry and I think a Sage's Mask, is that right? But yeah, when you, it doesn't take a recipe, but you get bonus stats when you complete it, so that's a nice little item. And the Canadians are going to go ahead and group up as 4 and I guess just try and continue to push or try and look for a push, a pick off or something like that. And oh no, this Skywrath Mage is a little bit out of position here. And they sense it. They're going to go ahead and go for him. And a nice skewer is going to catch him out. That nice blink skewer combo. Didn't have to use the RP. The Silencer did try and use the Global Silence to try and save him, but Silence isn't going to save you when it's 5v1 like that, so that's unfortunate. Invoker going for the Tornado Chaos Meteor combo. And Wraith King is going to go ahead and pick up the BKB, or try to. Tidehunter is going to catch out the Canadians with a nice Ravage. The last word is going to go down on the Necrophos. And the Chronosphere being used defensively, but it's not really going to do too much to help him out here. The Death Ward does go down, does a ton of damage against Wraith King. The Shackles will be used, but it will not going to... Okay, there we go. 4 down on the side of 2EZ 4RTZ. They go ahead and Time Walk in. And yeah, that nice Death Ward Magnus combo there. They did stop the Death Ward, but I mean, it was right at the tail end of it when it had already done a ton of damage, so... Let's take a look at the team fight recap. And that fight's definitely going to favor the Canadians quite heavily, of course, in a 5-for-0 exchange like that. That's never a good situation. And they're even going to go ahead and try and push out the high ground a little bit here. And I think they might be able to do it with this Mask of Madness. Yeah, there's really not much that 2EZ 4RTZ can do about that. So that's a tier 3 down. 2 towers down because of that team fight. And that's going to be a Mjolnir for Faceless Void. Looks like Witch Doctor is probably going to be saving up for an Ag Scepter, I would think. Shadow Shaman, I would assume, is building into... it looks like he might be going Ag Scepter as well. Items on the side of 2EZ 4RTZ. Wraith King is about halfway there for the recipe for BKB. Silencer, I assume that means he's building into an Ag Scepter. Skywrath Mage still kind of sitting on these same items, which, as a support, that's to be expected. Tidehunter is close to a mech. It might be a little bit late in the game for a mech, though. Still, every little bit helps, of course. Magnus going for the broadsword, chainmail, robe of the Magi combo. I'm not sure what he's planning on building into here. Ah, yes, blade mail, of course. Of course, blade mail. Also a very good option. So that's going to be a Mjolnir completed on the Faceless Void. I do like the Mjolnir quite a bit. And they do go ahead and push out this bottom lane on the side of 2EZ 4RTZ as 4. And yeah, things are definitely favoring the Canadians. They're ahead by about 14,000 gold at this stage in the game. Definitely pulling ahead because of, yeah, I feel like that team fight really helped them out, and then also that Hand of Midas on Faceless Void and his farm in general, just really helping him out. Ravage only going to catch out the one. Not sure if that was necessarily a smart Ravage. Chronosphere will catch out the Silencer, but the Tornado will be used to keep the Invoker, or no, excuse me, the Silencer does go down, but they do secure a kill on the Faceless Void. So that's 2 down on the side of the Canadians. I think that little engagement was worth it. I think that was good. Exchanging a core and a support for a support Silencer. I think that was pretty good. Looks like the Canadians are getting maybe a little cocky here.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And 2EZ 4RTZ respond by taking down a tier 1 tower in the top lane. And that's actually their first tower of the game. Which... I don't want to say that's not a good sign, you know, because... I mean, towers do win games, but at the same time, if you pull ahead and farm, you know, if you aren't prioritizing objectives, that's not necessarily the biggest deal, but... Towers win games, you know? It is a little bit late in the game to be taking down your first tier 1 tower. But that's okay. And that's going to be a completed Ag Scepter for Necrophos. I don't even know what it does. Increases damage per HP missing. Decreases mana cost for level 1 and decreases cooldown for levels 1 and 2. Units killed by Aether Scythe cannot buy back. Oh, woof. Gosh, that's rough. So that does increase the damage quite a bit. Increases it to 1.2 damage per HP missing. And the Canadians are looking to push out this tier 2, the last tier 2 tower on the map. And yeah, I think 2EZ 4RTZ, there's really not much they can do here. Looks like they are gonna... Yeah, it looks like they might try and respond. They are worried about the Tidehunter Ravage, it would seem. And not quite into deny range. Looks like they are going to go ahead and just try and push this down anyway. And oh no, that's going to be a denied tower as the Tidehunter does blink in and gets off a 3-man Ravage. The Global Silence will be used, and the mech on the side of the Canadians will be expended. The last word is going to go down on the Necrophos, and a nice Chronosphere going to catch out all 5 of them as Faceless Void is in here just going crazy. The Death Ward will be used, the Scythe will be used as well, and that's 4 down on the side of 2EZ 4RTZ. Wraith King does reincarnate, but I think he's just going to reincarnate to die here. Magnus does activate the Blade Mail. He does blink in, and the Maledict will be used to take down the Wraith King. So yeah, that's a really nice Chronosphere from Faceless Void, and just the Canadians are just flexing their muscles when it comes to comboing off some of these spells in their positioning as well. So good for them. And that's going to be the second tier 3 tower down on the side of 2EZ 4RTZ, and they are going to go ahead and start sieging this base, and it doesn't really look like there's all that much they can do about it right now. Mystic Flare will be used, but yeah, Faceless Void can just stand in that even with the Ancient Seal on, and he just doesn't care. Can he dodge magic attacks with the backtrack? Yeah, physical and magical attacks, so that's rough business there. And with yeah, even with the Witch Doctor, he's only got level 1 in Voodoo Restoration, but I feel like that it just really really heals everyone up. Does a decent bit of sustain. I do like that quite a bit. And Witch Doctor is close to the Ag Scepter. Needs about another 1,000 gold, and he'll have that. Wraith King still sitting pretty with the Armlet and BKB. I do like BKB on him. I feel like that's almost core. A core item if you're playing him as a core. Silencer should be close to a Staff of Wizardry, so I would expect to see him pick that up anytime soon. Looks like Invoker picks up the Ultimate Orb. Not entirely sure what he's going to be going for. I would assume maybe like an Eye of Scotty or something like that. Nice Tornado catching out 3. Deafening Blast and the Meatball will be used. Definitely showing some good good skills with the ultimate there. And unfortunately, that's going to be a dead Invoker with the Scythe. And the Hex will be used on Tidehunter, and it looks like he's trying to deny himself with the neutral creeps there, but Faceless Void will pick him off with a nice Maelstrom buff as well. And of course, I didn't mention it, but Faceless Void does now have They did take down Roshan and was able to secure that, and the Chronosphere will be used to take down the Skywrath Mage. Not sure if it was entirely worth it to get to use a Chronosphere on him in that way, but you know, whatever. He does go ahead and time walks in, and Magnus will get that last right click on Silencer. So things are looking quite grim for 2EZ 4RTZ here, and I gotta say, I think we're definitely very close to GG here. And there we go. Yeah, the GG will be called out. Looks like some good spirits from both teams here, which you like to see. So, GG on the side of the Canadians. Good play from both teams. So, yeah, we'll see if 2EZ 4RTZ, if they are able to strike back and win the next match. So stick around. I will be casting that shortly. I'm gonna go grab some water, and yeah, join me shortly as I cast the next match here. So stick around.